Good morning, everyone. Ugh. It's hot. It's humid already this morning. Like, just horrible. So I'm out here doing this video so that I can hurry up and get the rest of my morning chores done and get Tashir back in the house. I made her stay out in her kennel last night. I tried feeding her breakfast this morning in her kennel, and she's refusing to eat in her kennel. The only time she wants to eat is when she's in the house. So I need to get her used to not just eating in the house. She needs to understand that's her area. She don't care. So I'm kind of forcing her right now, and it's homemade dog food of roasted chicken fat with pasta and green beans. And so I'm trying to get her to kind of eat that, just to kind of help her belly because she's going through that thing again. She goes Tuesday to the vet, is her scheduled appointment. So hopefully we'll get that all taken care of. So before I get her in, I have to take the water, clean out their bowl, fill it with water, and some Pedialyte. I don't want her to dehydrate. And right now with her situation, she's going to dehydrate really quickly. So I got to get that done here in just a few minutes. But I wanted the big girls to come out, go potty, get situated and ready, and they're already ready to go into their kennels for her to come in. They act like they can't stand her, but they know this routine of a puppy coming in. They did the same thing with Solomon, and then once Solomon was old enough, he stayed out all the time. He didn't have to come in. But with her being sick, I really like to concentrate on her health more so than training. Um, right now, just training her, no, stop, no biting. That's like the words that she knows the best. That's all I'm gonna have to say about that. So she's a handful, and her breeder has not emailed me back. Emailed her, and I don't understand. So I will be calling her breeder today. I'm gonna call her breeder and talk to her a little bit, find out a few things that I have suspicions about, but I want to make contact with her. So she's not gonna be happy to hear from me today, probably. I don't know. So, what I want to talk about today is Christianity. Okay, today is Sunday, the day of rest. It's not the Sabbath. The Sabbath is Sunday. So, let's just go ahead and get that cleared out because a lot of people say, well, we can't do anything on the Sabbath. Well, the Sabbath is Sunday. The day of rest for Christianity here is on Sunday. Completely different, right? Okay. I want to talk about two specific people, but I also want to read Mathew 25:35 to you. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. That's Mathew 25:35. Those are Jesus's words. You can find them in the red letters of Jesus in the Bible, and it's something that we have forgotten. Okay, let's just go with this. If you are loving your neighbor, I mean, there's two things that are the most important. Love God and love thy neighbor. Those are the two most important things to remember, right? I cannot understand how Christian people are okay with how our government is treating the immigrants, the people that work very hard. They've been, MAGA has been told that these people take away from the jobs of the white people. They're taking away money from taxes. They're taking away this and they're taking away that. Well, when you take them away, who's going to do those jobs? Who's going to pay into Social Security without getting a return on it? They do. They do the jobs that others don't do. Picking the fruit, picking the produce. That's their job. And it's hard work. It's labor intensive. You're in the sun, you're in the heat, and you're picking crops. Those people that scream that the immigrants are taking their jobs, you're wanting one of those jobs, right? You're going to go pick the produce? Really? Did they take that job from you? God, it makes me so mad. You know, when the bishop spoke, she read Matthew 25:35, and she went a little bit further than I did. She read the red letter words of Jesus to Trump and his vice president and family when they went for the service. What did MAGA do? They wanted her arrested. They wanted her deported. They wanted her to be, I'm just going to say, crucified for speaking to Donald Trump like that. Those were the words of Jesus. Okay. MAGA Christians are the most dangerous people in our country. And you're like, well, how could that be? Because they're not following the word of God. They're not following the red letter words of Jesus about others, how to treat others, and how to love thy neighbor. If someone came to my home and said, I'm hungry, I would feed them. If someone came to my home and said, I need help, I would help them. It's the same way with my country, and that's exactly how I feel. This country was based on immigrants. This country was based on the fact that people were being persecuted in other countries for religion, and they came here. This is not a Christian nation, and yet that's what you want. And you want probably to put people in jail who are not Christians because they're not going to abide by your thoughts. Because most people who are not MAGA Christians have empathy, sympathy, and understand the immigrant and care for the immigrant. But you don't, and that's fine. I want to talk about a Texas state representative. His name is James Tallarico. No, he's, I said it with a roll of the tongue, but he is a white man. And his grandfather was a minister. And he is a stand-up Christian. And I would recommend looking up this guy, James Tallarico. He's a state rep out of Texas. And he has spoken on several interviews. He has spoken to those that want to put the 10 Commandments in classrooms. And he questioned them. He is who I would like to see stand up and become the voice of the American Christian. Not the MAGA Christian, the American Christian. Unbelievable. You can find him on Jen Pesky or Jesse Dollemore did a segment on him. But I think I liked it the best when he was questioning the Republican congressperson who is trying to pass the 10 Commandments being in school. He understands this is not a Christian nation. And we have to love our neighbor. If our neighbor is gay, or if our neighbor is a trans person, or if our neighbor has a different color skin, or has an accent, it's important. Love thy neighbor. You know, MAGA Christians are ready to go back into time because they are also racists. Segregation. When MAGA people talk about their community, their heritage, what about the heritage of other people? Our Black Americans are part of our heritage. They came here in chains, treated like livestock. They built this country on their backs. They took the abuse that the white man gave. Our Native Americans were abused by the white man, taken from their reservations and put in white schools, the children, teaching them Christianity, teaching them how to be a white person. I would have much rather been on a Mustang, riding through the woods, hunting a deer, than to be sitting with a staunch shirt on and my hair cut, being taught Christianity. You know, this is why I've always had a problem with missionaries. Okay. Missionaries go and preach the word of Jesus to people and then tell them, oh, well, now you know about Jesus. You're going to be condemned if you don't follow Christianity. I've always had a problem with that. Okay. Hypocrisy. You don't want to be told what to do because you've always wanted to be against the government. Well, right now, the government you have is the deep state that you have always said was the Biden administration or the Obama administration. Y'all are ignorant. I mean, I don't know how to go there with you without calling names. You're ignorant. You are ignorant of the fact that you have been bamboozled into a deep state controlled by a child molesting piece of crap. Period. But let's go to someone else here. Let's talk about Ryan Walters. Do you know who he is? He is an Oklahoma state superintendent who wants Bibles in the classroom. And I believe he's the one that ordered all the Trump Bibles, which is actually against the Constitution because it puts documentation of our country and our government into a biblical book. And it has Trump's name before God's and Jesus. So if you have a Trump Bible, you're sick. Anyway, he wants Bibles in classrooms, and he wants the Bible taught in classrooms. This is completely unconstitutional, and if you don't understand what that means, there is a separation of church and state. You should not be promoting any religion over another in this country, period. Soon there'll be witch hunts, right? If this is allowed to continue and the Heritage Foundation gets the Project 2025 more than what the percentage is already into our government, it will be illegal to be any other religion other than Christian. It will be illegal to practice any kind of spirituality that is not Christian based. Let me tell you something. The witch hunts. MAGA are the type of people who sent the towns after young women saying they were witches. MAGA, you were the witch hunters during the witch hunts. I'm just saying, that's the mentality that MAGA has. Is the same mentality of those that went after witches during the witch hunts in Europe and here in America. That's the truth. But let's get back to Ryan Walters, okay? He wants anything that's kind of pornographic or talks about sex. He wants those books out of the libraries. He wants to ban books. Well, Mr. Walters was in a meeting. It was an educational meeting. And on his TV screen were naked women. He was looking at porn. He shut it off. because people saw it. They pointed it out. That's hypocrisy at its finest. You know, Oklahoma is like, what, the 50th in education in our country. And he's focusing on all of these other things instead of raising the education of Oklahoma. Let's worry about math. Let's worry about history, science, and all of those things. Nope, we want to teach the Bible in school. What in the hell is teaching the Bible going to teach anyone that's going to help them with education? Nothing. That's why you should be educated about the Bible in church or at home, not in school. But Ryan Walters is now under investigation, and he should be, because that is hypocrisy. He's telling you not to look at porn. He's telling you not to read books that are a little edgy when it comes to sexuality or whatever. But he's sitting in his office during his work time looking at porn. Hypocrisy, MAGA. I don't get it. And you'll just cover that up, just like you're covering up Trump's crap. You know, other countries aren't taking Trump's crap. Did you see what happened in Scotland? That's my homeland. That's my father's side of heritage. And I'm very proud of them. You know, while your president is using our tax money, and you know, MAGA always says, well, it's our tax money, our tax money. Do you know liberals, Democrats, independents, everybody's paying taxes, not just MAGA. The 38% of strong MAGA in this country, okay, that's 38%. Most of those 38% are not even paying taxes because most of them are on Medicaid, Social Security, disability. And he continues to lie to you. I'm not involved. Bullshit. Bullshit. He is a nasty person. And he has started this MAGA stuff because he got your vote. Heritage Foundation found a rube that got you hooked. And now they're falling apart. And if you stick with it and you want to be called a Christian, well, you better get some empathy and sympathy and read Jesus's red letter words. Let me read it one more time. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. For I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. Mathew 25:35. You know what? That's it. Mic drop. Bye, y'all. Hugs from a distance.